Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I have a player for you guys to meet today. His name is Billy Bowens. He is a wide receiver out of Boise State. Nice to have you, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, obviously a part of, really, great tradition there at Boise State. One of these guys coming out who really had a fantastic pro day, shocked a bunch of scouts out there, and is starting to really gain some momentum as a guy who you could see at the next level here very soon. So, Billy, if you don't mind, go ahead, introduce yourself and tell us where you're from.
Yes, my name is Billy Bowens. I just graduated from Boise State University, sixth-year senior, and I'm from Southern California. I grew up in San Bernardino, and I went to Redlands, East Valley area.
Gotcha, gotcha. So is it Billy or is it Williams on the on the driver's license? I gotta
Yeah,
ask.
I get that a lot. It's definitely Billy. I'm actually the third. So my grandfather, then my dad, and then me. So growing up, I was always little Billy or Little Bill.
All right, all right. So Lil Bill, I ain't gonna call you Lil Bill because I think that's a little demeaning. So let's not do that. And who knows if there will be a Billy Bowens the fourth? I'll just let leave that to you. Uh,
Yeah, we'll see.
But like you said, went to Redlands East Valley High School there in Redlands, California. Obviously, played some football and was also a standout track and field athlete back in your day. So, talk to me a little bit about your time there in high school and any memories that you want to share.
Yeah, so I mean, my family has always been huge on athletics and academics, always from the beginning of time. So the two things we'd always do was track and field and, for the guys, football, and our sisters, whatever they would like to do in that time too. So I actually have an Irish twin. Are you familiar with the Irish twin?
Enlighten me.
Okay, so it's when you have a sibling that's less than 12 months apart. So my sister, she's older than me, and we are really close. Like we're not twins, but we're Irish twins, right? And so we've been super close. She always used to run track as well, and she was always faster than me my entire life. So I
Oh,
had
that's
to have
scary.
thick skin. Oh yeah, she was elite. She ended up going to UNLV for track and field, and that's an all women's program too. Another fun fact, but yeah, so she was like my trainer slash competitor slash kryptonite, because she would always kick my butt. Even when we got to high school, she was a little faster than me, and then all my boys and teammates and football teammates would come to our track meets and just make fun of me and be like, "Oh, Billy got smoked by his sister. Oh." So it was I had to get
Get a
fast
brother
quick.
onto the football team, damn it. What the hell? Might as well, right?
Right.
No.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So we just really I loved it though. We started training together, doing personal training. Our high school actually didn't have an actual track or a stadium. They just kind of got one. So it would be dirt track. Our football field was just grass, no turf, no lines, just grass. And me and my sister, we've always been super heavy into it, and we knew we couldn't really train at the school because we needed like high quality training. So we found this personal trainer who was 40 minutes away from where we lived, and we had to take that trip every single day. And
Mm.
I mean, it paid off, and I'm super thankful for it because my junior year, I ended up going to state, and she also ended up going to state. And state finals in like California is huge because you're competing with everyone in that state. It's huge. So we both end up making that, and that was just super fun. A really cool dream. I just remember like it's just like I'll never forget that moment. We were the only ones, me, her, and then we had this one of my friends who was cross country. We were the only three on the whole track team, so we weren't even like taking a bus. We just got in a little car, loaded up, and like went up with our coaches. And they were so excited because one of our coaches was like a volunteer security guard. The other one was like an ex-teacher. Another one was like somebody's friend of a friend who they just no real track IQ, but they just knew that like we knew how to compete and they loved it and they were so supportive. So it was really fun.
Kind of almost like a story out of a movie. It's kind
Yeah,
of how
right.
it happens. But cool. Appreciate the story there. Again, just kind of want to focus on you, man. But although I will say, like I am somewhat interested in your sister and her athletic story. So maybe we'll chit chat more about that later. But obviously, Billy, you're a football athlete, and you decided to pursue football instead of
Mhm.
track and field. And I got to ask you why. What is it about football that you love so much?
Yeah, football is my first love. Track was just to complement my football speed, right? So I mean, it went really well. And like I said, growing up, I was never the fastest, right? My sister was always top with the youngins and then moving up and moving up. Me, I always was just kind of doing it to prepare and keep in shape for football until I got good in track when we went with our personal trainer my like sophomore junior year. Like it just happened so fast. I hit puberty, grew a lot. They actually were like the word around town was like Billy's taking like steroids and this and that. I was like, I've never taken any supplements, any nothing. Like I just worked hard and was sick of my sister beating me. That was my steroid, was my motivation to beat her. So but yeah, I mean, I love football. I've always been decently good at football and had a fun time with football and stuff of that nature. So that's always been my love and dream to make it to this point.
Cool. So, yeah, obviously football being the love that you chose to pursue and ended
Mhm.
up going to Boise State.
Yeah.
I will tell you, when I watch Boise, I do get a little blinded by the field. I think a lot of people do, but
Yeah.
certainly a very well established tradition there of excellence. Really, always getting in positions of
Yeah.
potentially winning conference titles. Year in and year out. Let's just be real. I mean, for the past, I don't know, several decades, actually, you guys have been great. I mean, even going back, like, I remember way back in the day with like Zabransky, like, doing it way back when. But
Yes.
certainly, you guys have always put yourself in position to succeed. But dude, let's
Mhm.
talk a little bit about Boise State. I mean, again, you had mentioned that you and your family have, really focused a lot on academics. You yourself being a four-time academic, all Mountain West athlete.
Mhm.
So definitely interesting. Tell me about Boise State and really what you did there as a student.
Yeah, I mean, this place is I don't even know if underrated is the word to call it because so many people know about how great this place is, but I like wasn't really sure what I was stepping into, right? Like neither of my parents went to college, so this was really big for me to come and graduate. There's five of us siblings total, and I wanted to show them, you guys can do it. Just even though where we come from, a lot of their friends and a lot of our peers get sidetracked and get caught up in different things, and it's easy to fall victim to that. And I wanted to show them, you guys, we can be so much better than that. We can be and overcome the statistics and be something great in life. You can be literally, truly anything you set your mind out to and you go work really hard at. It's not going to be easy and it's not going to be smooth, and that's what I tell them all the time. And that was just my biggest motivation and my why. I came up here and I was blown away by how everything is. Like 6 years to be at one place is almost unheard of nowadays, especially the way everything's going. And it's like, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else because of the connections, the relationships, the camaraderie, the culture, the tradition. Everything that I got here, I feel like was necessary and I loved it. And it's made me a better man to this day.
Cool. And great to be a part of that team, that offense. And
Mhm.
let's go ahead and talk about that offense. I mean, again, a lot going on there. I think, here lately, you guys have been riding the running back as the
Mhm.
bell cow, but certainly do air it out,
Mhm.
to guys like yourself. So talk about that offense and kind of where you fit in and all that. So go for it.
Yeah. Our offense was a primary run, but we knew regardless, we wanted to get involved, right? If you want to be on the field, you're going to have to block. And then we had a saying, no block, no rock, right? And so to make things fun, we started a knockdown board in the room, right? Instead of a touchdown, it would be a knockdown. If you can go in there, get your nose dirty, go get some knockdown blocks or go bully some guys and just give them a hard time, we'll get points and boost it up. So, and then also touchdowns are lovely and rewarded as well. So it was just like, we just making fun of everything and competing, going in there and doing what we can to help the team, right? Football will be the first sport to tell you it's not about yourself. You got to go in there and do whatever's required of yourself to help the team. And that's what I truly fell in love with, right? It goes from being the superstar in high school, having every pass thrown to you, no one can guard you, just having fun and game plan built around you to being around a bunch of guys who are really talented, just as talented as yourself, and you guys gotta maybe do this or do this depending on the week to achieve success. And it's like, you know what, whatever works, whatever we got to do, whatever it takes, let's do it.
Gotcha. And again, like I said, you guys, had a lot of success this past season. You actually won the conference championship. I
Sure.
know it wasn't wasn't a pretty season overall, but I mean,
By
it's
any
nice to
means.
be able to, get that in the end, get to a bowl game, and
Mhm,
just kind of, continue the idea of you guys being one of the top teams in the country. So,
mhm,
um, talk about that team that you were part of this past season and really
mhm.
what you yourself got the most out of. So, go for
Yes. Um, where do I start? Football is almost year round in college. You have your spring, you get to go home for maybe a month or so, and then you're right back into summer training. Then you got your fall camp, then obviously your fall season. So I mean, it's a lot going on, and you got to be fully dedicated. You're around these guys year round. You have new freshmen coming in, transfers coming in now like crazy. As a 6 year and a guy that's been here through a lot, our leadership program, we took it upon ourselves to make sure everybody's on board and on the same page. That's always the first thing. We all got to be in unison. We have to be moving as one. So then just making sure that everyone understands the culture, the standards here. They're really high, and that's just how it is. I wouldn't want it any other way. So making sure guys understand that that's the first step. But I mean, when we set out to do this thing, we knew how talented we were. I knew, and it's not even just on the field, the how tight that group was off the field. I'm talking away from school, in the locker room, whatever you had going on, like guys just wanted to be around each other and loved being around each other, right? We'd always have guys come over to our house. We play poker, we watch games, we do just fun things. We made this other game that we found from a friend called like Werewolf. So it's like it's actually insane. We get a group of a whole bunch of guys. We sit around it's a card game. You flip it, you get
right.
designated role, and you guys got to figure out, who's the bad guy, who's the intruder. So it's like stuff like that. We just love, and then guys are always taking trips together. Guys are always eating together, figuring out ways to spend time together. Going to church and spending quality time like that. Like it's a really tight knit group. So we knew we could be something special. And the goal was to go out there and take care of the Mountain West Championship. That was always set, and that was our mind, that was our mental, that was our goal, that was our focus from the beginning. Yes, things got shaky. And when that happens, it's easy for guys to fall apart, right? It's easy for guys. You see the division, right? People start maybe thinking, well, let me do this, let me do that. Maybe start pointing fingers, maybe start feeling a little, and the trust starts to break, right? The armor gets a little chink in it. And it's like we had meetings and meetings, and I'm talking about like our leadership group, our captains, and because we were tight. All of us were majority 6 year guys, and we were like, guys, we know what it looks like. We know what it takes. We got to string these guys together and figure something out. So I mean, once again, like you said, anybody who watched the season could see that it was not the perfect 10-0 season and walk into the championship and walk away all happy, have it at your home field, party, party, party. It was the most mentally, physically, emotionally draining season I've ever had, but also the most fun and the most that I could have gained from a football season that I have gained from a football season in my entire life. So it's definitely things that I will never forget, but it just made that victory so much sweeter at the end when you accomplish your goal.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great that obviously it was your last season for them. You laid it out all out on the line. It was
Mhm.
tough. It was a struggle, but you got through it. You ended up with the championship, which is nice. And
Yeah.
I mean, you could have asked for maybe a perfect season or something like that, which can happen. Maybe.
Right.
I mean, sure. I mean, we could see that here in the future, of course. But
Right.
for you yourself, obviously walking away with your head held high. So let's
Yes.
do focus on you, obviously as an NFL prospect. Playing wide receiver in that offense, like you said, you have to go out there and play your part, whether that is you're going out there as a blocker or you're trying to get yourself open. So talk to me about you as a wide receiver. First off, give me like perhaps like your favorite route that you like running for your quarterback.
Favorite route, I would say, favorite route. This is a fun one because
Keep it simple.
I like the quick short ones, but I also love the deep ones, right? So you have like your deep post routes, as we would call it, that are really fun because it's like you're catching a pass, the work's already done on the front end, right? And then you have I like getting the ball in my hands quick too, whether it's a flat or a slant, and then also like being able to make things happen that sort of way. So we had this route though. It would have to be my favorite route. We called it a sell route. It's kind of like a corner route, right? So you dive in a little, but then ultimately you're breaking out, and the quarterback does too. So it'd be fun because you could beat anything. The zone coverage, if you're in, you square him up. He's kind of like, okay, where's he going? You can have two ways. and then break outside, right? And then, or if he's playing man coverage, you go in, and once you stack him, he's behind you. You're driving the bus. He has no idea where you're going. So you give him a little step here, a little hezzy there, and then he's lost, and it's that was my favorite route for sure.
Cool. And hey, man, as a wide receiver, I think your favorite play is when you get the ball in your hand. I mean, you're a wide
Regardless, yes, sir.
receiver. I mean, and I don't expect anything less. I don't
Yes,
expect
sir. Yes,
any
sir.
other answer really.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
but let's continue to talk about you as a wide receiver. I mean, again, you grew up in Redlands, California. Who are you aspiring to be, man? Are you trying to be the next TO or what?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the way it is, I love. I grew up a huge, actually, yes, TO fan. I was playing Madden, and Cowboys were my team because I played for the San Bernardino Cowboys. So I would play with them, and TO was their guy. Fell in love with that. But then, yeah, like Odell Beckham was a huge fave of mine. Like I loved his game. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams being a Mountain West guy and holding it out, even though he was for the Fresno. Ooh, but
Eh,
love him to death. No,
you
it's
still
just
got to respect them. Anyway,
no, for
let,
sure.
keep going.
Keep super talented, super talented. But yeah, no, just loving that and just being a fan of the sport. I didn't really have a favorite team growing up, but just loving to see excellent play on all sides of the ball.
Gotcha. And again, you know, part of some good memories there. Give me your favorite memory, there for Boise State. I mean, is there like a game or maybe a specific play you can walk me through?
Um, yeah, there's so many. I think I legitimately think, um, you know what?
Come on, man, give me
Khalil,
your
that's
biggest
funny.
highlight. I know you got one.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got one.
yeah. So so from personal, my favorite play would have to be uh probably my first touchdown on the blue. I think that one would have to be my favorite one, most memorable one, because it was like, wow, I scored on the blue, our home field, and you hear your name get called and you see all your fans and your family's in the stands, and then you got all your boys and your teammates to celebrate. And I think that one is like one I'll never forget. Then we had some nice pictures of it and put it up in the team meeting the next day, and like everyone's like, yeah, Bill, showing love because it's my first one. So I think that's got to be it. But from a teammate's perspective, my boy Shakir, when we were playing BYU, and we went to their place and they were ranked 10, and Hank Bachmeier launched it down the sideline. He kind of like caught it awkwardly and like slid 4 feet on the ground and like did this whole like we were like, oh my god, is he alive? Sort of deal. And he got up and was just like, yeah. We were like, yeah. That was just amazing to see.
Nice. Uh, you were talking about some teammates there. Is there anybody that maybe has been, I guess, the most impactful for you as a teammate? I mean, you're talking about Khalil Shakir, Hank Bachmeier, who's moved on. He's transferred now
Yeah.
someplace else. And um, who has it been for you, man? Let's give at least one more guy some love.
Yeah, I mean, to shout out one of the older guys, when I first came in as a freshman, I mean, me and Shaq were super tight, same class, but Sean Modster, he's been a guy that's been like a huge mentor to me. And he was an older guy, Southern California guy as well, came up. So I was a young guy, and he taught me a lot of this stuff, and even would train me even till this day. He was just over here at my house. He's getting married pretty soon, so congrats, Sean. But yeah, he was just over here, and we were talking and catching up, and he's just always mentoring me and helping me out. And then, like I said, on the field, he's always giving me best advice and tips and what he thinks. And he's just super knowledgeable in the game. And he runs a 7-on-7 out here as well. So we're always going out there and showing them love and refereeing or just showing up and showing presence and support. So that's been a guy that's helped me a lot for sure.
Cool. So, Billy, finished up your time there at Boise State. So, I mean, obviously you're moving on to this time period where you're a prospect. I mean, you're a guy hoping to hear his name called, a guy hoping to get into the league here very soon. What have you been doing? I mean, I know you had a pro day, but I mean, up until that pro day, where were you, man? Where have you been training? Where have you been? What have you been doing?
Yeah, so I decided to train out here in Idaho. I would go to this place called Off the Field, and they do a great job. They train local athletes. They get guys ready, girls ready, high school sports, NFL guys always coming back and going there. And then you got For all range, some NBA, some everything, every sport mix, but it's just a facility and they're really great vibes, great guys, always teaching you about life and sports and doing that as well. And then coming here to BSU, with our coaches, with everything, I had access to everything here, especially coming off a fresh season. So training here as well, with our staff and with our strength coaches and everything, getting things right and just getting ready as much as I could there.
Yeah, and dude, obviously that parlayed into you having an excellent pro day.
Thank
If
you.
we kind of look at the numbers there, if you put them up against anybody, dude, you're up there with everybody in this entire draft class.
Thank you.
So 4.44 39 and a half inch vertical, 11-foot broad jump, which is just flying. I don't know how that happened, but you were able to do it. And a 6'9" three cone.
Mhm.
Bro, obviously these numbers are eye opening. So I mean, certainly the training facility and people around you helped you get there.
Yes,
Was
sir.
there anything else that you want to share about either how you got there or that pro day in general?
Yeah, super thankful for the opportunity, right? Like it's been a lot of support, a lot of great people helping me, and it's a super intense process for sure. It's not easy, but it's everything I thought it would be plus more. I was wanting that, I was ready for that. Like I said, being at a place like Boise State, they get you ready and prepared for that as well. So just super excited to have been able to do it, and proud of myself for being able to handle it that way.
Cool. So obviously, you did a great job at your pro day, and I would imagine you've been either getting calls or interviews or Zoom calls with NFL teams, trying to figure out who you are and how you can maybe fit in at the next level. Like, how's that been going for you?
Yeah, that's good. That's been really well. I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff. They want to see good guys, right? They want to get good guys. They're taking a risk on you, and they're taking a risk on, it's business, like we say, and they don't want to mess that up, right? You don't want to gamble or really just do anything too crazy. They're doing their research and doing their jobs, and it's been really nice. I've met a lot of cool guys. They've been super helpful even throughout the whole pro day. They were helping out and giving us as much time and as many attempts as they possibly could. They're on a tight, strict schedule as well. So, but they've been really cool, like really nice guys, really really cool and down to earth, and super super nice. It's been fun.
So was there maybe one of those interviews or instances, where like maybe perhaps you got a question that was kind of, I don't know, weird? I mean, have you had like an something that maybe caught you off guard, like that, most
And
of the
with
time
me,
it's easy questions, but I just kind of want
right.
to ask like, about everything in general.
Yeah, it's been smooth sailing. I wouldn't say anything out of the ordinary. With me, I always watch interviews online. I love podcasts and interviews, and I always like watch funny videos and stuff like that too. So I would say I'm always kind of prepared for the worst and prepared for anything that could come out. So I mean, nothing has really caught me off guard. So that's been good.
That's good. That's good. So, Billy, I do want to take a moment to see if there's anything more about this guy that we need to know. So I want to meet the guy under the helmet. Is there anything else about you that you want to share? Hobbies, interests, passions, special talents, um, really anything that you're passionate about that you want to share.
I love music. As you can see, this big poster behind me, this kind of
I
tapestry I
had no
got.
idea what that was. Who is it?
Yeah, so it's like it's my artist Little Uzi Vert. I loved his music and Gunna and everything. Like they were kind of what I grew up and loved through high school, and kind of got me through a lot and got me motivated for games and hype for games and stuff. So I love them and stuff like that. Another thing I'm really big on is reading. As you can see here, I got here's just a couple of my books right here for you.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, yeah, I love reading on my off time. And one more thing about me, fun thing I love is some anime. I got a Goku here. This is my cousins actually introduced me to it when I was young, so I keep him on a night stand up here, and yeah, I
I
love
appreciate
love
the show and
anime.
tell, by the way.
I know, yeah, yeah. I was ready. But yeah, no, I've been watching anime and loving that for a little bit while. So since I was young, they used to have all the action figures and showed me all the shows and video games and stuff like that. So love that to death.
So, real quick, you have a book that you recommend?
For sure. I would say the one I would start with would be the Four Agreements. I would say start with that. And who is that by? It's by Don Miguel Ruiz. He that really just helped me grow my perspective in life, right? I feel like life is all about perspective at the end of the day. And when I say that, I say this like we have a way, and the thing we say is life is about 90% of what happens. I mean, 10% of what happens, 90% of how you respond, right? Like it depends on how you respond to things. Um, if you sit here and look at things this way, you got to shift your perspective and take the positive out of it, right? Because you can truly make any situation better and make yourself better from a lot of the lessons you learn, right? A lot of the things that happen aren't always going to be great. They're always going to be on your side and in your favor. You won't understand why things happen. But what you can do is shift your perspective and see, okay, this happened. So what? Now what, right? What am I going to do? How am I going to overcome this? What am I going to do next? And it truly grows you as a person because growth comes from challenges, you know? So that book just really taught me how to really understand myself and other people and just stay rooted. And it took a lot of the stress away and kept a lot of my own personal peace for my own well-being. So it was really good book. Highly recommended. Easy read too. It's not super long. It's not super thick. It's really fun. And it's just like, wow, mind blowing.
Gotcha. One more time, title.
The Four Agreements by Don Ruiz.
Okay,
Yes.
good, good. Want to plug that. Billy, this has been great. We've been talking about you and your story and all these great things. I mean, I appreciate the show and tell. That was a whole lot of fun. But do want to wrap up our time and really just, I don't know, give all these NFL teams your final pitch as to why they need to take a chance on you, draft you, and bring you in. Because, I mean, obviously you're bringing a positive attitude, which first and foremost, that's good. But other than that, man, what else do you bring? Go for
Yeah, I just want to say I'm gonna be a guy that's real with you, that loves the sport, has passion for the game, and just truly wants to win. I want to get on a team and do whatever it takes to win. Right? I play inside, outside, block, run routes, run the ball, throw the ball, whatever you guys need, let me know. But I love being around the guys. I just want to help any organization because I'm at the end of the day first a competitor more than anything, you know, and I just want to go out there and compete and show guys that we can go get this done.
cool. I know in jest you said throw the ball, but I mean you did do a little bit of that in high school.
I sure
So
did, yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. I
people,
was a
people
quarterback.
gotta, recognize that you can do a lot.
Yes,
Obviously a
sir.
very athletic player, who can add a whole bunch to a team.
Hmm.
Billy, want to wish you all the best in this process. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
No, hey man, you're welcome. Once again, we got Billy Bowens the third, wide
Yes, sir.
receiver out of Boise State. Check him out.